All right, hello again. This is Jeff Scott, your instructor for the online version of 152, 157, Website Development, XHTML, CSS for the fall 2015 semester at Blackhawk Technical College. In lieu of, or rather than, showing you that last example that's in the book, I went back to our Trump site here. There's our home, our issues, which is still a little funky, but it works when you do this. I don't know why. And I added another page called Candidates. And that page has got all of the candidates for president, both Republican and Democrat, each one in alphabetic order, as of 8/21/2015. All right, and the way that I built that was I built a simple table. So I tried to incorporate basically everything that was put in the chapter here. All right, so this stuff again is all the same. That section has been the same pretty much throughout. I've got a wrapper. In my wrapper, I've got a nav section. Again, index, issues, and candidates, which is the one I just added. And then I put comprehensive list, all candidates for president. All right. I could have put both parties or whatever. I just left it the way it was. And then inside of main here, you'll notice that main is not yet blue because I think it's a candidate recommendation that hasn't been totally accepted yet. So, all right, so main, and I gave it an ID of main issues, and that's a really bad name. That should actually be candidates, in case I wanted to put anything in there and I didn't. But I put a table in there with a 1 pixel border. Here's our caption. All right, and then in the header section, I gave IDs to everything. So first name I called F name, last name L name, and political affiliation a fill. So this section here that I've labeled T head, that's all my heading information. So what you see there that's gray is everything that's basically here. Not that. This is the caption. All right, and then we've got this stuff here. That's the header section. This, as you'd guess, is the body right here. I did not put a footer in. You can see I've got kind of crunched for space with all the candidates that we have for president. I could have. I originally had one, but it made the table go down. I had total number of Republican candidates and total number of Democratic candidates, and I just left it off. All right. So and the rest of it, just about everything else, is the body section. Again, there is no footer. And you can see how long it is. There's a footer, but there's not a footer for the table. All right. So for each one of these candidates, since I set up an ID of F name, L name, or a fill, each candidate, let's just grab Jeb Bush because he's the first one in there. So headers, F name, headers, L name, headers, a fill. So for every one of those, they're all set up accordingly. So this particular example should work well. All right, that example should work well. Whether we are just showing it to a quote typical person, unquote, or whether we have somebody who needs some kind of help because they have some kind of, they're challenged in some kind of way or other. All right. This wasn't the greatest thing to put in here. We probably wouldn't have put this into a website for Donald Trump, having all the candidates in there. But again, I just wanted to put something in there that would show a table. I still want to fix this issues thing because I don't like the way that it's working right now. And in the next chapter, we go over forms, and that's when we're going to build our contact form. All right. So this won't be done after that. We'll keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking it in every chapter. All right. And the last thing I want to show you is the CSS that I put in. Again, I grabbed most of this stuff, just so you know, I grabbed most of the stuff that's in here. Literally, I grabbed it from the book. I made a couple color changes, but I grabbed the stuff that was in here from the book. So let's take a quick look at what's in here. Again, I'm trying to be complete here with my documentation. I feel like, you should be doing the same thing. You should be documenting it. How can I ask you to document if I'm not doing the same. So, all right, so this is the candidates page. And again, our table, I gave it a width of 500 and margin auto, so it would be centered on the page. The caption, made it a little bigger than normal, so 140% basically. The font weight, I bolded, and I gave it a bottom margin of 10 pixels. And the reason I did that was because if I didn't do that, then right here, these literally almost touched. It doesn't look terrible, it doesn't look great right now. It looks acceptable. All right, in the header section, I made the background color navy and the actual text color white. Background color navy, text color white. All right. Then I came in here next, and in the body, we used Arial font, and I made the font size a little bit bigger. All right. And then I put a bottom border on each one of these. Now, I made it navy. I could have made it white, so I could say pound FFF. But my feeling is if I do that, it's going to not show very well, just because of the fact that it's white on a light blue background. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's better or worse taking a look at that. All right. To me, that's just a little bit irritating. You may or may not agree. All right. But those are the kind of questions that you should start asking yourselves. And if you have questions, or if you don't agree with the way I'm setting something up, that's a good thing. It really and truly is, because what that means is you're starting to think like a developer and like a designer. I think that looks better like that. Now, again, I use the dash. That's what they happen to use in the book. All right, I didn't have to do that. This doesn't line up perfectly. All right, when you look at the stuff that's in here, there's a lot of changes and tweakings, etc., that we could make that I didn't make. All right, but I believe that pretty much did add another component to our little mini site here. All right, so when I come back, I'm going to talk about what has to be done for the homework for Chapter 8.